Welcome to Southwest Desert, where adventure meets the arid beauty of the American Southwest. Join me as we explore Southwest's lost historical characters, stunning desert vistas, forgotten Native American history, or tales of lost gold mines. There's always something new to discover. Subscribe now and hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on our latest desert adventures. Let's journey together into the heart of the Southwest Desert. Sit back and enjoy. When you travel through the American Southwest, every mountain range you encounter seems to hold its own whispered legend of lost gold. These tales often follow a familiar pattern. The longer the prospector's beard and the wilder the Native Americans, the richer the supposed mine. But today's story breaks that mold in fascinating ways. While our prospector certainly had his share of impressive whiskers, this thoroughly documented account stands apart from typical lost mine folklore. We're taking you to San Bernardino County, California, where a 1950s act of Congress had sparked renewed interest in a decades-old mystery. By reducing the boundaries of Joshua Tree National Monument, they reopened an area that might hold one of the Southwest's most intriguing lost mines. This is the story of Hermit John's lost ledge in the Sheephole Mountains. But before we dive into the mystery itself, let's set the scene. Picture yourself at the Amboy Railroad Station, a small desert outpost along the Santa Fe line. It's early summer morning, about 1901, and the desert air is already beginning to shimmer with heat. On the depot platform stands a gathering of the town's most reliable witnesses. Pete Ring, a local miner who knows these parts better than most; John Locke, who runs the local store; Jim Walsh, the section foreman who keeps the railroad running; Bill Pine, the Santa Fe station agent; and our story's witness, whose account preserves these extraordinary events. As they stand there on that fateful morning, something unusual catches their attention out across the vast, dry lake bed northeast of the station. The morning heat has created a perfect mirage, lifting everything into the air like some desert sorcery. Even Pete Ring's mine, sitting on its small brown hill near the eastern edge of the lake, appears to float in the sky, surrounded by what our witness describes as fairy palaces. Through this spectacular natural illusion, strange objects begin bobbing up and down on top of the heat waves. The men watch, transfixed, as these mysterious shapes dance through the morning air. That's when Pete Ring, with the casual familiarity of a desert veteran, breaks the silence. Hell, that's Hermit John in his outfit. Now, this wasn't the first time the mysterious hermit had appeared at their little desert station. This would mark his third visit, and while he kept mostly to himself, he'd become something of a known figure around Amboy. The sight of him was memorable enough. Picture a man so tall that even while riding a large mule, his feet nearly dragged in the desert sand. The morning's mirage had made him appear even taller as he crossed the dry lake bed, like some mythical figure emerging from the desert haze. Thank you for joining your desert frontiersman Alan for another lost gold story. If you would like to help support my time and channel, hit the super thanks heart icon on the bottom of the video and contribute. This is very helpful. Relax and enjoy. What happened next would transform a routine morning into desert legend. The hermit began unloading his cargo onto the depot platform, 6 sacks of ore. But fate had a way of intervening that day. Bill Pine, the station agent, noticed one of the sacks was badly torn and couldn't be accepted for shipment. This simple observation would lead to a revelation that would leave everyone present speechless. When the hermit emptied that torn sack onto the depot platform to transfer its contents, time seemed to stand still. There, scattered across the wooden planks, lay something extraordinary, chunks of light gray, iron-stained quartz. But this wasn't ordinary ore. No, this material was literally plastered and matted together with bright yellow gold. The sight was so spectacular that it nearly caused a stampede among the witnesses. Pete Ring's reaction captured the magnitude of the moment perfectly. "Jumping John D. Rockefeller," he exclaimed. "That's the richest ore that ever came out of the California desert." This wasn't just hyperbole from an excitable prospector. These men knew their minerals. At that very time, the Armenian miners at Virginia Dale were bringing in some impressive gold specimens of their own. But even their richest finds paled in comparison to what lay before them on the platform that morning. The hermit, clearly uncomfortable with the attention his ore was drawing, quickly gathered up the precious material and transferred it to a new sack. He weighed it carefully and had Agent Pine bill it to a San Francisco smelter. His actions spoke of someone who knew exactly what he had and was determined to keep its source secret. After the excitement died down, the old prospector led his 5 burros and saddle mule to the tank car on the Santa Fe tracks. The animals drank their fill, and then the hermit made camp just behind the little grocery store near the railroad tracks. The locals were burning with curiosity, but desert etiquette prevailed. In those days, asking too many questions about a man's business, especially when he wore a 6-shooter, wasn't considered wise. But here's where our story takes an unexpected turn. That evening, our witness decided to pay a visit to the old prospector's campfire. What he found challenges the typical image of the gruff desert prospector. There sat the mysterious hermit, reading aloud from the Psalms of David, his voice carrying across the desert night as he recited from a large, leather-covered Bible he carried in his pack. Perhaps it was their shared Kentucky roots that got him talking, or maybe it was the snake medicine our witness happened to have in his hip pocket. Whatever the reason, the hermit began to share his story. He was worried, he admitted, because the others had seen his rich ore. He feared they would try to follow him back to his mine. What he revealed next reads like something from a Spanish colonial history book. While prospecting in the Sheep Hole Mountains, specifically in the area northeast of Dale Dry Lake and southwest of Cadiz Dry Lake, he'd stumbled upon something remarkable, an ancient Spanish or Mexican mine. The site bore all the hallmarks of colonial mining operations. A primitive ore-crushing mill still stood nearby, evidence that the precious metal had been processed right there on site. The location told a story of hardship and possible tragedy. A caved-in shaft near the arrastra might have once served as a well crucial for any mining operation in such arid territory. More ominously, 2 or 3 weathered graves spoke of those who never left the site. Mining tools, centuries old, lay scattered about, silent witnesses to operations from a bygone era. The hermit described the deposit in almost reverential terms. The ore was enormously rich, he said, with enough visible gold to fulfill his wildest dreams of wealth. He mentioned prospecting around a large iron ore outcropping to the north of his find, though that proved too low grade to be worth his time. His description would place the mine either in what was then the northeast corner of Joshua Tree National Monument or just across the line to the west. The next morning brought another piece to the puzzle. As the Santa Fe passenger train pulled into the station, the hermit was observed dropping a letter in the mail car's slot. He spent one more day in Amboy, watering his animals and filling his water kegs. Then, following one of the Armenian freight wagons, he headed out of town. That was the last anyone ever saw of Hermit John. He never appeared at Virginia Dale or any other railroad station along the Santa Fe line again. The letter he mailed, presumably instructions to the smelter about where to send his payment, became just another thread in this desert mystery. Some speculate he met the fate that has claimed so many others in the harsh desert Southwest, his bones perhaps lying beneath the shifting sands. Others wonder if he simply took his wealth and disappeared to live out his days in comfort somewhere far from the desert's burning gaze. The original Spanish or Mexican miners left their own mysteries behind, if they were indeed killed by bandits or Indians. As some of the evidence suggests, they might have left treasure buried around the small rock house, the ruins of which our witness claimed still stood at the time of this account. Today, the Sheephole Mountains still guard their secrets beneath the relentless California sun. Somewhere among those weathered peaks, an old arrastra might still sit near a caved-in shaft, marking the spot where Hermit John found his fortune. And now, with the reduction of the Joshua Tree National Monument boundaries, prospectors once again had the chance to search for this legendary lost ledge. What sets this story apart from so many lost mine legends is the credibility of its witnesses and the physical evidence they observed. This wasn't a tale told second or third hand around a campfire. These were respected members of the community who saw the incredibly rich ore with their own eyes. The story doesn't rely on wild Native Americans or mysterious curses, just documented events and a puzzle that still waits to be solved. Somewhere out there, among the sun-baked rocks and shifting sands of the Sheephole Mountains, lies the answer to this mystery. Whether it's Hermit John's lost ledge, the remains of the Spanish mining operation, or perhaps both, the truth waits for someone bold enough or lucky enough to find it. The only question is, will it be found in our lifetime, or will it continue to be one of the great mysteries of the American Southwest? Happy trails. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more great content. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next video.